Uh, Hello. Okay, so I guess we're live now. Uh, let's see. I have no thumbnail for this video yet. Um, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Alright. Have a little hiccup. What the heck is going on? It's ridiculous. What I'm gonna do is this. Have a stable solution. So I got my camera. I got camera issues. Still figuring out the whole setup. Let's see if this works better. Okay. There we go. Let's set that back up. Okay. Right. So we're back in the game. Let's see. Yep. So what I thought we would, what I was looking to do for this video, well, I guess for this stream, is look at how to set up. I've been working on a project, whereas I was playing around with some Python like image or video manipulation stuff, and I wanted to see if there was a way I could easily quickly prototype with Python notebooks, rather than having to like run things like repeatedly running, trying out different things in the same environment. That's the perfect use case for Python notebooks like Jupyter, right? So I really don't like the. I guess once you go Neovim, you can't go back. It's you kind of get used to that lifestyle. So I wanted to see if there's a way I could set up my workflow, my Neovim environment, so I can actually run Python notebooks. Doesn't have to be Jupyter. I was actually looking through and I found a different solution called Quarto, and this is the first time I ever heard of it. So apparently, well, before we do that, let me set a thumbnail for this video up. Using Gemini to help me. Let's see if there can be a great. Can we try a little more minimalistic? Little more minimalistic one. Let's see. See what I can come up with. This is so helpful, by the way. Like, saves a bunch of time. I mean, like with all the drawbacks of AI and everything, or like the other ethical stuff, that's murky. But this is actually super handy. I don't have to spend time taking images, trying out different things. Let's see what this gives us. Because I don't need this anymore. Nope. Okay, I think this is. What do you think? I think I'm tending more towards this. Yeah, let's go with this. I like this. So I'm just gonna go here. I think I gotta go to my, what you call it? Okay. YouTube Studio, change it up. I'm doing it on my other screen here. I try not to get distracted by the YouTube videos suggestions. Let's see, YouTube Studio. I should have, this is my first time actually doing any serious work in YouTube Studio. So I gotta figure out how I can see my currently running stream. Live. Oh yeah, there it is. Edit. Let's see if I can, yeah, thumbnail. Let's go to downloads. Where did it save that? There you go. Yep. Okay, it should be up anytime now. Okay, perfect. Now we can actually start the video, the stream, the contents of the stream. Just make a small tweak to the description actually. Don't want to get too bogged down in this and not get to the actual stuff I'm doing. Okay. So okay, so getting into that, there were a couple solutions I saw. I can't recall the one I know Molten is so a couple solutions I found that Molten is pretty much helps with the environment part. It helps to like set up Python environments that basically it's independent of the, I guess, front end like UI, like actually handling of the notebook files, but it runs a Jupyter kernel in the background and allows you to interact with code. So it's kind of like a backend that can be used with whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be Quarto, which I will go into. Quarto is a kind of an alternative to Jupyter that, as you're probably familiar with, Jupyter notebooks, they store everything in one big JSON file, and that JSON file contains a bunch of outputs and stuff that, like, when you execute the code, it stores the outputs, it stores everything. It stores the image hashes it as I think they store the images as blobs. So it stores everything in that JSON file. But that's it's not easy at all to version control, or like, if you, not that that's a big need of mine, but it's also not very pretty, and definitely does not work with Neovim, which is the main point. Like, I can't really, if the source of truth, if the source file is some like JSON blob, like JSON mess, I can't really work with that. So that's why I'm tending more to Quarto rather than using Jupyter. So we're gonna try to set up, first of all, let's try to set up Molten. We'll set up Molten first, and then we set up Quarto. And this is kind of, let me actually show you what the syntax of Quarto looks like. It's actually kind of neat. It's very close to Markdown. So you can see here, yeah, you basically just have the Markdown code blocks, but you annotate it with the language you want to run the interpreter for. and of course you have the interpreter set up, like all the stuff you need set up for these languages, so you can actually run that in the right environment. So okay, let's start with, I already did a little bit of exploring in Molten. I didn't do a whole bunch. Let's start with that. All right, let's see. I have so many things open here. Let me quit. You can't see this, it's on my other screen. Let me quit a bunch of this. It's kind of driving me a little nuts. So I'm planning to actually make this into a separate YouTube video, edit this into a video, but so I realized I didn't I want to kind of show an example of the difference between a Jupyter notebook and a Quarto source file. Let's find some random Jupyter notebook file here. I think you do this. Actually, this might be a better search. Let's search for IPYBN. Okay. It's searching for through the. Alright, okay. Let's ask Claude. Can you find me some random Jupyter notebook file and generate the Quarto alternative, or ideally with a Quarto alternative, or reverse, a Quarto with its corresponding exported IPYBN, because you can actually, at least from what I read, you can basically export your Quarto files as Jupyter notebooks, which makes it like even better, because that allows you to, like, if you want to share that, because Jupyter is more of a standard. Not in my drive, just generally online. I should probably use this is gonna cost me. I should use a smaller model. I need the height. I don't even need, bro, what the heck? Yeah, okay, I can't change it mid-conversation. Let's see. References, basics, Jupyter. Oh, this is perfect. Quarto, IPYBN, and let's see. Quarto.org. You're leaving? Yes, I am leaving. Page not found. Wow. The wonders of AI hallucination. Just beautiful. Okay. Let's see. They also explicitly converts this to this for collaboration and back. Interesting. But that's not what I'm here for. I am here to find. So this is some random Quarto file. I mean IPYBN file. This is good enough for demonstration purposes. Okay, so let's grab some, just to demonstrate the difference between, this is video me, is my video brain is being activated. Let's find the difference between, let's find some random, okay, get my head straight. Let's find the difference between a Jupyter notebook and a Quarto file. So I just searched here a random Python notebook. Let's download this to really actually read the source, and we download the equivalent. All right, we download the equivalent Jupyter notebook. I mean the equivalent Quarto, and then we download the equivalent Quarto file. Let's let's not do that. Let's find me some example Quarto file, GitHub. Quarto. Let's actually move this downloaded file into okay, so you see what I'm doing here. Name. Okay, so let's see. Let's find this. Not found. We're just hitting home runs here, aren't we? Okay. Let's see. Intro to Quarto. Looks like this exists. Solidly exported. There you go. There you go. Perfect. And we even have the corresponding generated PDFs. I can't run the Quarto right now, but we can demonstrate via the PDF. We can actually have this. Am I able to see the raw version of I don't need this. Am I able to see the raw version of the? So I'm looking for the raw. If GitHub allows me to see the raw version of this file. Oh, I just saw something here. Download raw version. I want to see raw version. Let's see. Nope. I don't want to fork. Doesn't look like it. Okay. So what we're gonna do is this. We're just gonna put it in here. Okay. This is perfect. Okay. So YouTube video brain here. Let's see. So just to give an example of the difference between a Jupyter Notebook and just to give an example of the difference between a Jupyter Notebook and a Quarto file, a Quarto, you actually just grab an example Jupyter Notebook here. I just searched up credits to JupyText. I'm actually not sure what this is. What are they? Yep. Well, credits to whoever these are. But I'm just grabbing an example Jupyter Notebook here. This is the display we're used to. You can edit and run the cells and do all of that jazz. How it's actually stored though, it's stored as a JSON file containing the cells, containing the outputs of the cells. The images are stored as like blobs, image blobs. I think like hash, like the, what do you call them? Basically the image blobs. But this is not very friendly for editing at all. And I actually want to edit it like source code. So we can compare that with Quarto. So I just searched here an example Quarto file. Thank you, Ageler. This is just a intro to Quarto. Super useful. That will be helpful for us. So this is kind of how the source code looks. It is pretty much markdown. And in the code blocks, we have the language that we want to run the kernel and who wants to run like in the environment the code block represents. So this is editable. This is like right at home for me in Neovim. So this is what I want. And you can actually, there are tools to help you actually execute this right in Neovim. But the great thing with Quarto is it's really great for exporting like professional looking PDFs, because that example we just saw, I believe it should have some generated PDFs, or no, maybe. Nope, it doesn't have it here, but you can generate that as a PDF, a very nice looking PDF. I don't think this is a Quarto created PDF, but if we look at the Quarto homepage, you can see examples of that. So we got the Quarto, this is the Quarto exported PDF or HTML in this case. This is Jupyter Notebook, and Quarto supports multiple different multiple different languages, which is perfect. So you can, this is perfect. I should have just looked here. Okay, so comparing the difference between Quarto and Jupyter Notebooks, the source code for Quarto is it's pretty much markdown. You have the code blocks and you have the language here specified, and that generates, we'll see tools that helps you do that, generates the output inline in Neovim, but you can also generate it to an HTML or PDF, which looks very professional. Compare that with Jupyter. You might not see much difference here. Jupyter, this is probably the input you're used to. You have, you type in your text and you run your code in these cells, and everything's all nice and clean. But it's not very amenable to working with the source text. So how it actually looks, how a Jupyter notebook actually looks in the source code is like this. So it's a massive JSON where each cell is an entry in the JSON, and it has all the stuff like images and all that jazz as basically stored in here. Like, it's not very, this is not edits friendly, and it's not very friendly for version control and collaborating on one source. So yeah, with that, I think I've beaten the dead horse on the differences, but I'll edit this and figure it out later. Let's try actually going and doing what I actually want to do. Let's see, look through the so Molten is a fork of Magma. I don't need to go into that rabbit hole comparing or anything, because I look through Molten and it seems to do what I need it to do. So we're just gonna start here and look through and try to work through these setup. Right, let's see here. So we need image.nvim. That's very unfortunate, because I have if I go to my nvim, I have here snacks.nvim, but I haven't set up properly image.nvim. I have it kind of configured here, but last I remember I had some problems, so I just got rid of it. But let's see. Let's skip that for now. Let's get the bare basics working. Let's see. So there's a very quick startup, and there's a not so quick. I actually don't want to do things properly so that I can do it once and get it over with. Otherwise, it'd be bugging me. So let's go with this detailed setup. I read through this, like skimmed through it. Actually, well, a little more than skimmed through it. So we don't have to go into detail and everything. We'll skip the image.nvim for now. Let's see. Let's actually, I guess we have to create a Molten, the plugin. Let's see. The config would be Ben Lubas. Thank you, Ben Lubas. You are making my life a lot easier. Can I spell? Yes, I can spell. Molten nvim version is, let's stick with what works. I can always upgrade later. And dependencies, we can just add it for now, but we won't configure it quite yet. If it doesn't work, we'll leave it. Well, I'll try to get it to work, but that's not the primary focus. Actually, it is the primary focus because I do need it to work for the video, like image processing stuff I want to try. I'm working on. Okay, so to build, you need to run. I read about this update remote plugins. I think that should already be handled by default by this plugin is a remote plugin. I'm not entirely sure the difference between remote plugins and regular plugins, I guess. Let's see if we can get a summary here. What's the difference between Neovim remote and the regular plugins? Let's see. Regular plugins run a remote run a separate process. Oh, it's just asynchronous. Is that all? Why is this legacy? Is everything moving to remote plugins? Is there, like, is it ubiquitously better? Anyways, this is, I think it's ubiquitously better. I cannot speak, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Okay, let's see. Init. Does lazy vim? Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's see. I wonder, actually, I'm not sure what the difference is between init and build. I can't go down every rabbit hole I wanna. Let's focus on getting this set up. Oh, okay, looks like you can actually configure the image provider. I want to see if I can configure it to snacks.lua, because I know that snacks.lua is working right now. But how? What can I set it to? Let's see. Molten image provider, snacks image. Oh, it looks like there's already an issue up for this, or just a conversation. I welcome someone to submit. Is there one reference? They made an implementation with some fix regarding the bug mentioned. Add snacks for image. Oh, it's merged. This is awesome. However, I currently didn't manage to figure out a solution for the case where the previously rendered figure was not removed when rerunning. I see. So it like persists. I prepared a screen recording for the demo, but I cannot upload it here. Okay, let's see how this works. If we wanna go that route, or just stick with image.nvim. It's kind of hot in here. I gotta take off these gloves. Looks good. I'm just curious. Like, it looks like when he moves away from it, it disappears. I know that's like something you configure in snacks, but I wonder if it. I don't see it reappearing when he goes back to the cell, which would be very annoying to me. Let's see. The config. Maybe they fixed stuff. This was when was it? May last year. So imagine that perhaps it's gotten even better. Mention this in, oh, okay. Let's see. Let's see the release mentions. Let's see. Added snacks image, perfect. Let's see. It looks like we can do that. Let's see how we set it up here. Actually, what is the? So we just set it as snacks. Expose methods to the Python most plugin. See, snack. This is not important. Real outputs. Okay, so I think this is just a string we use. Yep, it is. It is just snacks within Vim. I'm kind of feeling like a snack, to be honest. I will satisfy the desires with just. Alright. Let's see. I don't expect there's anyone, but let me see. Yep, nothing in the chats. Okay. Let's see. I hope this works. I hope it's just snacks.nvim and that's it. Oh, let's see. Go back here. Beep boop. Okay. Let's see. Back. Oh. I want me some. Actually, yeah, I do want me some of that. I was gonna say it looks kind of nasty, like way too much. I feel like I'd enjoy it in the moment, but I'll regret it after reading it. Where was I? Where is the molten? I'm just blind. Here we go. And this. All right, let's get back to it. So I believe there are some problems if you, from what I was reading, if you don't restrict the image height, it kind of messes with the window and stuff like that when they're large images produced by the code. Win molten outputs win max height, just making sure I didn't make any typos. All right, there we go. So we've got this set up. I have snacks.nvim set up. So I hope that works magically, automatically. Yep. Let's see. I know there's more to do than this. So you need these packages we absolutely need. We need this for Python to be able to talk to the Neovim API, and that's used in the backend in like the inside molten.nvim. They have to talk to the Neovim client, of course, and that's why they need this, and they need Jupyter clients for interacting with Jupyter, which I assume is for creating the environment, the kernels for the languages, and managing those and actually having stuff run. So I want to do this inside of virtual env. I have read this a bit. So it's basically saying to create a global virtual environment and then configure it as a Vim here in your Neovim config, so it knows where that virtual environment containing Molten's dependencies lives, Molten's Python dependencies, where it lives, and that's pretty much it. There's also something we have to install in our projects, in our project's virtual environment. But I'm thinking I'll just install this globally because I want to be able to do it without a hassle. Whichever project I'm in, I want to be able to create a notebook without having to do all the hassle. So I'll just install this globally, and future me that forgets this dependency requirement will have to forgive me. if I ever switch devices or anything like that. Anyways, let's see. Point Neovim at this. Yep. Let's see. So basically, creating a global virtual environment. Let's see where I should create it. I could just do a. Okay, this makes sense. Just create one for Neovim. It talked about a virtual env wrapper. Basically, just some shell script that allows you to shortcuts to source and list your environment. I don't think I need these. Like, it's not that much to write home/this or that and like do the whole thing. Maybe for listing it would be helpful. Like, I'm not doing a bunch of global virtual environments, so I don't think I'm gonna do that. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna, I got my old thing here. Actually, do I need this? I'm gonna cancel this. All right, so what we gotta do, we gotta make, this is way too large. Refresh. All right, make a virtual envs directory. Yes, yep. I just wanna stick to someone's convention so I don't have to think of what I want to do when it doesn't. It's not a big deal. All right, so if I just go in there and create a virtual environment for Neovim, how do you do it again? I think it's just the name comes first and then the Python version. I don't even know a Python version. Let's just use whichever it decides. Yep, looks fine by me. And so we just do virtual and Neovim bin activates. Okay, there it goes. It exists. So what we're gonna do, I want to do that in here. So I like to keep in my configs, I like to keep everything located to where it's pretty much related to. I don't want to have some configs flying around the place and I come back even just like a week after wondering what the heck does this do. Right, let's see. So we created a virtual environment. We want to run it here. I'm actually curious when, at what stage of Neovim, like Neovim startup process, do we need to activate that? Do we only need to activate it for specific file types? You see, I think I'm gonna outsource this decision to Claude because I'm very careful. I am very careful when I outsource to Claude, but the thing is, I'm not familiar with Neovim's like all the build. I know of course the basics, but I'm not familiar with like the details of the build stages. Neither am I familiar with this, and I'm gonna have to search it up anyways, find that information. So this is just a faster way of finding the same information I would search up, because I can't come up with it so answer on my own without actually searching how the build stages interact. Unless I want to look through source code or read the docs. This is an easier version of the docs. Let's see. So can you briefly explain Neovim's build stages to me? I mean, the hooks that plugins can connect to in the build stage. I know there's something like init and there's also build. I don't know the difference or if there is more. Let's see what you have to Tell me. Okay. Plugin manager hooks. Yeah. I am using Lua. Not Lua. I'm using lazy Vim and Vim. And then, yeah, the explanation I gave is accurate for it. Okay. Build one time on install or updates. Okay, that makes sense. Init every startup before load. So we're set, that makes sense. Config every startup on trigger after load. So before load, what is load exactly? What is being loaded? Is it when Neovim itself loads, or the Windows, or what exactly loads? Neovim executing the plugins, or the plugin loads? Well, that's should have been obvious. Let's see. Before load, the plugins code doesn't exist. Oh yeah, confirms it before the plugin loads. Of course. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so we gotta, this init happens once on install. No, this happens before load, right? Build happens one time on install or updates, which is why we're updating remote plugins here. And config happens every startup. So here we are sourcing, I guess it depends on how Molten manages their environment, but we want to find out, I want to find out that, because I want to just, maybe a little pedantic, just toss it somewhere and test it. Actually, I should do that. Just learn by experimentation. Let's see. So I want to try tossing it. I'd prefer tossing it. Let's see if we can toss in the same init function. Keep everything tidy. Nice and tidy. I guess I'll have to execute this. No. I don't have to source this. This is for... I don't have to source this. I just have to set... I am very dumb. Indeed. Okay, I just have to set the variable because it handles that, and the Molten handles that on its own. Python 3 host program vim expand virtualenv neovim ben Python 3. Is that correct? Virtualenv neovim bin Python. Oh yeah, it is correct. Oh yeah, it's not. I'm used to bin activate. Yeah. Okay. So that stores the. Okay, this is just storing the Python executable. Makes sense. The location for the Python thing. So that's done. Now we have to install the kernel within the program. We have to first install the dependencies within that virtualenv first. So we do have to activate after all. Let's see. Source virtualenv. So, for the video, so to set up Molten, we do all I did pretty much. Okay, let's see. So after we have this, walk back, start from here. So we after creating the virtual environment, we want to link, we want to let Molten know about what Python executable to use. We want to use the Python executable for that environment that's associated with that environment that we created. So we do this right here. We set this variable to the path, the full path of the environment we just created. And let's actually, so within this environment, we actually need to install the dependencies that Molten needs. And we're not going to install all of them because I don't need all of them. So if we, where did it mention about the dependencies and what they all do? I think it was right here. So we just need to activate and install the dependencies, right? So this tells us, yep, there we go. This tells us the dependencies we need. Let's see. So first of all, I source the virtual env that we just created. I can't type. Right, it's executing these an error. Okay. Ignore that. We can ignore these. They're how did that time out? Okay. Can we ignore that? It's just sourcing it, right? I'm not going crazy. Yep, I am not going crazy. Why is there you go. It's just being weird. Okay. So we're within the environment we created specifically for, we're within the global environment, global Python environment we created specifically for Molten. So we want to actually install pip install the dependencies. So we got to figure out which dependencies we need. So there are two dependencies that we are necessary. They're not optional. And then I think there are two that I decided that I deem necessary for my use case. So first of all, let's install pynvim. So this, like I said before, it allows Molten to talk. It allows Python to be able to talk to the Neovim API. Do stuff like interact with, find out information about the windows and buffers and all that stuff you have. And yeah, I don't know the details, but about what it does with that, but it must do something useful with it. Right, so we install these two dependencies. Let's see here. So this extra dependency allows you to, basically enables you to copy the outputs. When you know in Jupyter, when you run a cell, it has an output. Oh, I've not been aware of my camera. I should be talking to the camera. All right. So Jupyter has an output. If you want to copy the contents of that output, this would be very helpful to me. So let's go ahead and install that as well. Paperclip, not click. Paperclip. Let's see. This is in order to render plotly figures. I don't think we're using plotly. I don't think we need it. I don't actually know what plotly is. Well, I assume that's regular images that we create with like, what's that Python library for plots and stuff? Anyways, regular images, I don't believe, yeah, this is a specific Python library that I don't think we will need. We are not gonna need this. We do need paperclip. PNG latex for displaying latex. I don't need this. I'm not doing a lot of latex right now. Maybe later though, but right now I don't need that. Kairos SVG. At this, yeah, basically this tells us that only install this if you're noticing problems with Molten displaying SVGs with transparent backgrounds, which we don't need right now. So I guess this is all. let's see. And I know that there was some other thing. Well, if I remember correctly. Okay, no, there isn't some other thing. Oh yeah, there is some other thing. IPyKernel. So this, let's see. This is all we need. We don't need all the other plugins. We install this, and this should be good to go. All right. And we can install, we can deactivate. We're done with this now. And within our project's virtual environment, it seems, we need to install the IPyKernel. Not super sure what it is, if it's associated with the Jupyter kernels or if it's like its own standalone thing used by notebook, I don't know, providers. I should look at the camera more often. Okay, I don't know if it's used by the providers. Let's just see here. So we installed this for the user. Why do we need to specify the... Okay, this is just the name of the kernel, I guess. Okay, so I think this... Is this doing this automatically or launching the kernel using this automatically? Let's see. Assuming you follow the steps above, you may now have multiple Python kernels, all with names that match their corresponding virtual environments. Calling molten init and selecting an option all the time is kind of annoying. Instead, we can add this mapping, which allows you to automatically initialize the correct kernel. Okay, so within a project, we install the kernel, right? So it makes sense. Okay, we install the kernel, and then this is just installing the package though. What was Python dash okay. I guess we have to do this in every project we're working on. I am kind of confused. But these are the kernels, not the actual like running environments. I don't know if that like storing the states you've currently accumulated. I'm a little confused here. Okay, let's just blindly follow for now. Have something working, and then we can move on from there. So I got a thing for YouTube here with the notebook experiments. Let's go back there. And I think we're done with this. Let's make sure we didn't break anything. And oh, what was that? There's nothing. What the heck was that? Let's see. Oh, that's a different unrelated error. That's all right. Okay. So if we go back to our project here, let's see, what do we want to do? Let's try it out. Let's create a virtual environment for notebook tests. And I don't care what Python version. And let's source that. You know, I should not have done that. I wanna use the regular name, you know. Actually, let me see what this does. This is really ticking me off. I don't understand this. What does this do? I don't know what exactly. I've seen a ton of times Python-m, Like I just use it blindly. But I need to know if this is installing installing the kernel used that is tied to one specific maybe this is my misunderstanding of what a precisely kernel means, but this is installing the kernel specifically used for that notebook file that like accumulates the changing state of the program running, or is it installing this dependency that is used to create those? Because we're adding a name here, which is making me very confused. Installs a Jupyter kernel for a specific Python environment, making it available. Okay. Installs a Jupyter kernel for a specific Python environment, which is the by Python. Also, within that project, if we have two notebooks, do we need to do that one for each and every notebook we have? I hate that I started this with sonnets. I'm gonna run out of tokens. But let's see. I mean, whatever environment you're currently in VM, the key is, okay, no, you don't only have to run it once per environment, not per notebook. So I can do it globally then. Okay, so what's the difference between doing the pip install and doing the Python-m? So if you have two notebooks in the same projects using the same VM, they both just select the same registered kernel. Yeah, the kernel is basically the thing that runs like a kernel, like the Linux kernel runs the Linux, enables Linux programs to run. So this, like for example, a Python kernel enables these notebook program things to run. But what I'm confused about is what am I confused about? Is if I can basically I want to see if I can install this globally and once rather than for a specific project. And I want to know the difference between pip install this install and the Python-m. Oh, format set, that's pretty cool. Why are both needed? They do completely different things. Downloads and stores the kernel package into your environment, just making the software available. This uses that installed package to register environment with Jupyter. It writes a config file, kernel.json, to a location Jupyter watches, saying there's a kernel called project name and it lives at this path. What is that path? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So we need this for each project you run because, okay, that makes sense. Because for our projects, we need the environments, right? So your project is set up with the virtual environment with all the dependencies of your project. So if you want that active within your notebooks, you need to associate, like, basically register your that kernel with Jupyter, that Python kernel with Jupyter, basically, like, so it knows, it associates with its, pretty much with the Python virtual environments. That makes sense. Let me just make sure I got everything understanding correctly. What is the difference between doing that globally this is doing that within a specific project. Neovim. And let's give it this as a reference. Nope. Let's see. Copy link address. Right, give it to me. Let's see. Really should have gone with. I really hate you can't change these. It's all just like it's auto-regressive, so I don't understand why you can't change mid-conversation. Like you can just transfer all of the prompts and all of the stuff, the context. I really don't know why. Because it's the same in Gemini. No, actually, is it the same in Gemini? I'm curious. Tests. And then I switch to this don't Gemini thinks too much about stuff. Let's see if I change this to fast. It does work. Yeah. So there's literally no reason why you have to force me into a new chat just to change models. That's dumb. Anyways, let's see. Where was I? I was understanding. Let's see. The page didn't render the content. Okay, that is this blocked for agents? Anyways, let's see. Slung global means and its registration live in your system. Every project shares it. Problem is all notebooks run with the same Python and same packages. Yep, it's what I expected. So maybe we should do one globally. And if I need some global ready to use all the time Python kernel, then I install it globally. But if I'm working on a specific project, I just install it for that project. That makes sense. Just same deal with virtual environments. Okay. So what I'm doing here, I want to start with globally. So I can just do this. UV. Can I do this without UV pip install ipykernel? Okay, how does this okay, yeah, I guess the dash M is what tells it that, hey, execute whatever it is here with this specific Python instance, which is the instance that's activated currently, and just give it some name. Okay, that makes sense. So what we're doing, we're installing this globally. No virtual env found. What if I want to do it globally? UV install global package. So install a Python package globally. Use UV because I just want to spin up random notebooks and wherever I am, and it's all good to go, right? Install a package globally using UV. UV tool install command for command line interface applications. What if it's pip? Or does that work with pip packages as well? Let's try that. UV tool install ipykernel. Oh, it does work. Cool. I like the separation actually, tool versus pip. No executables are provided. Removing tool. Well, we tried. What do they actually force us to? What is your professional advice on registering a global Python package to use when I don't have a specific project with dependencies and such. Actually, never mind. Actually, yeah, it'll be very messy if I just install a bunch of stuff in my notebook to a global. Let's stick with best practice here. And I just wasted up. It doesn't matter. We're here to learn. That's the whole point. It's not wasted time if you enjoy doing it. Let's see. So I just create a virtual env here. Source. Activates. And then here we install the IPy kernel. Let's get back here. Don't need you anymore. And let's see. Why do we need to specify user? I mean, I don't need to go down every rabbit hole. That's alright. Project name. Let's see. I really don't want to have to specify a project name every time. Like provide a project name every time I'm doing, what do you call it? There's got to be a way to automate this with a plugin. So I have a thing that installs and it's on the project. If it's a Git repo, I'm thinking of creating a thing that we util for Neovim. Let's do that. Right now I'm talking about it. Basically, what I want to create is something that just, instead of doing this manually, in Neovim, I have a key map associated with this in the same plugin file as this that finds the GitHub repo, sees if there's a .env located there. If there is, it sources it, installs this, and then runs this, registers the kernel with the name of the GitHub project, the folder name, right? That's what I want to see if I can do. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Nope, not you. Not you. Let's see. I don't think anyone's in the chat. I highly doubt anyone's in the chat, but yep, no one's in the chat. Right. Let's see. So we gotta, let's see, what are we trying to do here? I don't want to go, I always fall into like, you spend 10 hours automating something that takes you 10 seconds to do. Anyways, that's all good. In the init, I want to do something here. Local function. Let's see. Install kernel. I hate that it closes. So I have auto formatting on, and does it have pass? That's fine. That's fine. It always, when I try to create a new line, an empty thing, it always brings it back as an inline function, which is very annoying. But anyways, so here what I want to do is I want to find what GitHub repo we're currently in. How do I do that? I should know how to do this. I've done it before, but I forget. Anyways, look, this is why we have you here. So what was that? Send a screenshot to go. Ooh, this is really cool. Wow, that is so cool. Allow, please. Okay. what were those? Jeez, this is amazing. So handy. Oh, even grabs remove ghosty from cloud. Does it like it's able to access a screen share? Wow. What is a screenshot? So is it a screen share? Okay, it's a screenshot and maybe a screen share? Does it register things I do? Anyways. Alright. Focus. Anyways. Let's go back. So here we are installing the kernel, and I was here. I want to give it a reference to where I am. How do I grab the current repo I am in and get its folder name? Oh, yeah, it's folder name. I want to say it's project name, but you may have different clones of the same project, which will mess things up. We don't want to assign them to the same, what do you call it? All right, let's see. Get the folder name of the current Git repo. Get current working directory. What is? Oh yeah, perfect. Thank you. Gives you the tail last components. Perfect. Or if you want the Git repo root specifically, not just the current working directory. What if I want the Git repo root but fall back to the current working directory? Ref powers. Oh, top level. No, not. What if I don't want the repo root, but I want the closest repo to the current working directory? This is what, okay, I guess that's what you mean by the, you misled me here with, how did you phrase it? Anyways, version works even if your CW is in the subdirectory of the repo. Okay, that makes sense, actually, do we want the closest VN? Let's see here. That would, I'm not familiar with Lua, and this is not what I'm trying to learn, so it doesn't matter. Local root is get the root of the git find directory. What do all these magic symbols mean? Oh, thank you. Wow, this is, I don't think I have a system prompt to be this helpful. It's not usually this helpful. This means search upwards from here, stopping at path. Where we stop is vim fname modifier roots, get the top. Okay, how does finder search for the directory? Searches upwards, directory by directory. But .git would be in a sibling, more like uncle, directory, not a direct ancestor, no, not necessarily direct, not an ancestor directory. it would be a, not in a. I know my grammar isn't good. It's all good. Come on, come on, come on. I should not be wasting my time doing random tangents, side quests like this. Don't know why I always do it. You're right that this isn't, but Finder still finds it. At each ancestor directory walks through, it looks inside. Oh, okay, that was perfect. That's good to learn. That is a very handy function then. I was just doubtful. So grab the find the nearest git you can find all the way up to the very roots. That is way more concise than I thought I would have to be to write that code. I love that. Anyways, stop at the roots when finding the virtual environments. Why is this asking for what the heck? I don't want you. I'm sorry, code. I'm breaking up with you. All right, let's see. Okay, we got what do we got here? So this finds virtual environments. Why can't we just do the same? Okay, we're stopping. I'm gonna ask, why can't we do the same thing we're doing here, but we want to stop when we find the roots, I guess. Then the function fname modify roots, get the head of. Okay, we want to the root path, right? That has the gits, right? We want to get the head of it. What is the head of it? Is it everything up to the not git part? The git part? I will assume so. Either get the head of that or get current working directory if there is no parent git directory. So basically finding the nearest parent git directory, or if lacking, getting the current working directory. But we don't want to stop searching for a VM at the current working directory if we can't find. But the thing is that we don't want to. The thing is, if there are parent directories at VMs that are completely separate from. You know what? That's fine. I'm wasting time over engineering. That's all good. Let's see. The problem with this. Find virtual environments. Okay, actually, let's not over-engineer this. Let's use this as is, okay? This is more than good enough. Right, I'm gonna have to end stream soon. Let's see if we can get something actually out of this before Okay, so it's just grayed out because it's not being used. And what is this? How do you see this? Okay, cannot assign string to parameter string or string array to a parameter string. So this is a string or a string array. Find directory with the gets up to the root. How is this producing an array? Nope, returns a single string, so we can ignore that message. It's delusional. Install kernel. All right, so here we attempt to install the kernel. We grab the VM and we want to is there a way to find out if a kernel, if a VM is currently sourced? Alright, so what are we doing here? I want to prompt the user, do you want to install a kernel to and init works every time we open up, right? I want to prompt the user, do you want to install a kernel? But I want to do this within a file, like okay, let's see. Is there a way to define some callback that is only called upon the opening of a specific file type or multiple specific types? Yes, auto CMD. Oh, perfect. Neovim create auto CMD. Get Molten and see how to fix in text. In these plugins, you can also use file type, but I don't load the plugin at a okay. So this registers an auto CMD. For Jupyter Notebooks. I don't know if there are multiple file extensions from Jupyter Notebooks. And let me see if I can remember the name. Quarto. But it's not JSON, no? Oh, like that's the file type. JSON files, so their file type is JSON. So it's not based on file extensions. That's auto CMD detects it. Really triggers on the file type Neovim assigns, not the file extension. Okay. It will set file type to JSON by default as a JSON. Okay. Okay. Let's do this here. Can you add that in case it's is defined as a file type, but leave JSON as well? Just give me the code, my friend. Thank you very much. Merci. All right, let's see. we can separate this out into local function. Do we do a thing? I think we do a thing. No, it's local, doesn't matter. Grab venv location. Yo, I hate this so much, man. You don't know how much I hate that. Okay, we can't be doing this. There we go. Sorry for doing that to you guys. An audience of some total 0 viewers. I apologize nonetheless. All right, let's see. So this, what happens if there is none? We stop at the current working directory or the git. What does this return if there is no venv found? Does it, yep, don't wanna prime it with venv will be empty if no. Is there a way I can get the okay, if it's empty, okay, if it's found, if it's empty, we can just suggest it in the current working directory. Oh no, actually that's not a good idea. A relative path like this, depending on where it's found relative to current working directory. Okay, relative path. Do we want that to be? I think we want that as an absolute path. Let's not mess with any business. Right. Yikes, this doesn't work. Anyways, I was trying to do some cool TMUX style stuff, but it's broken, I guess. Anyways, so we want to convert it into, what is the problem here? Ignore that. So we want to return venv and okay, all fallbacks work. So we can just do this or nil. Oh, okay. I'm building on a lot without having a way to test it. That's what annoys me with Lua. I have not figured out a way to like a repo that I can test things in on the fly. I'm sure there is. I just haven't spent the time to look for it. And it's very annoying when I'm making changes because I'm coasting on faith and fairy dust dreams. Anyways, okay, so we find nearest virtual env. If they have one activated already, so if they have, okay, I want to see, is there a way to find if the user has a venv activated already within that auto cmd, and to, yeah, and will my commands like pip install work on those work within that VM. You can check for an active virtual env via the. Oh, that is very helpful. Ooh, that's a Lua feature. Is that a? I mean, is that a built-in Neovim feature? Wow, I was gonna make a tutorial and I can't believe how far I've deviated from what I'm supposed to be doing. It's built-in Neovim. It's just a continuous wrapper. It reads, writes. Okay. So it's always set for Python virtual envs. Oh yeah, env is env. It's a system. It's just an exposure to the standard activate script. All right. Okay, let's see here then. So I wanna find out from here as for your second question, it depends. If you're running shell commands via system or job start, that they inherit Neovim's environment. So if virtual env is set and the VM's bin is on path, they'll use that VM's and the VM's bin. They'll use that VM's Python. Is there a way I can not depend on the VM bin being on path? Can I use the okay? VM activate are always at a predictable location relative to this. Okay. Python dip activates. Oh, source this bin activates. Perfect. Merci beaucoup. D'accord. Alright, let's see here. We wanna find the nearest virtual environment. If there is a nearest virtual environment, we wanna source it. If there isn't, if there is, we wanna source it and install. If there isn't, start with that case. We wanna ask the user if they want to create a virtual environment to be able to use what's an NVIM's features. If there is, we just try to pip install the dependency for Molten. Okay, so, and we do that. Where do we do that? We do that in root stop there. Okay, either the git or current working directory. So what I want is I want us to have this as, because we're gonna use this again, So this is find best actually no, best install location. No, let's just make spaghetti code for now. I need to find a better balance between perfectionism and actually getting stuff done. Okay, so here we find the nearest VM. I think we do need to local VM path. If VM path equals, if it's empty, then what we want to do is we want to input. How do I ask a user if they a Boolean question and receive that input? All right. Select yes, no. Install kernel. Merci. Local answer. What is this? Or for a simple input prompt. Okay. UI.select options. Yes. No. What else? Prompts, of course. Is that in a thing? Yep, it is in a thing. The prompt is, do you want to create a virtual environment to install for notebooks virtual for notebooks I don't know, I'll just ask Claude, can you give me a better prompt? Let's see. How long has this been going for, this stream? I think I started at 10, maybe like almost 2 hours now. Perfect. All right, so see, request 3 arguments but receive 2. If not, oh, that is cleaner. What else are you doing? Thank you. Typo in find nearest. Yep. All good. Near tests. Okay. Interesting. If yes, then do that. If no, not much we can do. Function choice. Oh yeah. Just to pass it in. Okay. No, that is not what I want, my friend. What I want to do is this. I want to say, let's see. If no, only if yes. If there isn't, if yes, or if there is a alright, let's do this. If venv path, then we want to install to this venv. Install the project dependencies. But if, and then return, of course, and then we're done with that. But if, then we don't need this clause here. And then here, if yes, they do want to install, then what we do is, this is frustrating. Okay, if choice is yes. Let's see. Then we do want to don't like this. Why is this not formatting? You formatted then. There's an error somewhere. Oh, of course. Okay. If yes, then we want to first of all create a virtual env at the best location, which is why I wanted to abstract this, but it doesn't abstract cleanly as it is. So create env to find best oh, I don't like this name. Find I like being very explicit in my names. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Alright. Let's see. So we create the virtual env, then we install molten, actually local venv path, find the best candidate, and then install molten project dependencies to the venv path. All right, looks like, sounds like a plan. Create venv function. So this is all stuff that I don't need to. Okay, find best. We already have the ingredients here. To find the best is just logically what we wanna, decision we wanna do. Create the virtual env is just grabbing the path and calling the source. No, sorry, calling the pip. Calling the Python virtual env. Okay, let's see. What I want to do is this. I want to see what I can delegate to this versus what I want to do myself. Extract common functionality between this and this. The shell logic is finding the project's roots. I'll extract that. Let's see. You look like you're doing too much. I don't like this. You know the project's roots. for the project root, if the Git directory is not there, then we use the current working directory. Yeah, find project root. That's the name I was looking for, the abstraction name. And then we use that for install multi dependencies. Okay, it's just doing that lower. VM, let's see. I'm getting the terminal. What is this P here? I forget. Why is it adding the P now? I'm sure it's right, but I don't understand. So here it's find the project roots, which is the exact same thing we were doing before. If the Git directory is not there, then we grab the except I added the P again, I don't know what it is. And here we return that an empty string, right? And with this we use the projects we find the virtual env, the nearest virtual env up to the project roots, right? And then we return okay, we return the, I don't know what P is. Find project roots, find best VM location. Okay, makes sense to me. I'll accept. Sounds like a plan. Okay. Let's see. Install molten project dependencies. So with this, why am I still getting, that's all good. I don't like these errors, but that's fine. So find the nearest virtual env. If it exists, we install. If it doesn't exist, we ask the user if we want to create a virtual env, and we create it, and we install molten project dependencies. So for creating a virtual env, we can just use Python's VM thingamajig. What's the Python command to create a VM with no dependent? How can I use the VMs? Yeah, that's good. We kind of need this Python to, yeah, we don't need to specify because we don't have the VM, so we can't specify a Python version. So how to run terminal bash command in the Lua vim.sys, or I forget. Yeah, vim.function.system. Alright, I want to come up with something first and ask it to suggest me. So create the virtual env is just this pretty much at the location. How do, yeah, VM path. All right. see. /.vm. Just make sure. So aside from creating the VM, let's see, what are you doing? Oh, bien sûr. Aside from creating the virtual env, let's see what we're doing here. We create the virtual env. I hope this works. I'm just one-shotting this whole thing. Hope I'm not missing any bugs. Anyways, now all that's left is to install the molten project dependencies. This is the problem. This is my problem. All of this came from this one line here. All of this came from this one line here. Like, well, I guess these 2 lines here, 3 lines. Like, why didn't I just not go down that rabbit hole? Anyways, I don't know if I like that part of me, or I think I have a complex relationship with that part of me. Anyways, let's see. Install the project dependencies. So this, we have to source. So we want to see if a virtual environment is already active, actually. So find nearest VM. Technically, an active VM is the nearest VM. Oh, we already found that out. It is vim.env.virtualenv. If that is set, that is our nearest virtual env. I'm not familiar with Lua. I don't know if this is correct. And then we install the project dependencies, which is just using that virtual env. If there is a nearest VM, we just install we source it and install the project dependencies. If it's the active one, okay. vim.env.virtualenv. So we save this, do a quick swap. Current active VM. If it's present, find is used to find a VM near the current project, but VM could point to a completely unrelated VM. The activated one in a different. Can we ask the user if they have an active VM? Whether they want to use that VM. new one. Because there's no way to ask. It's opening up. Let's just make an MVP. I don't need to get bogged down in stuff. Okay, this is a mess. This is getting complex. Let's keep it simple. MVP. I can improve it over time. Let's see. Project roots. If they have an active VM, use that. Okay. Okay, I don't care about this. Let's just have the AI do this. We're going to install the V if they has IPy kernel, VM path, results, pip show IPy kernel. Okay, I trust that because I don't want to verify. Do install. I don't like this name. Do install. Install IPy kernel and exits. IPy kernel installed in this location. Failed to install. Okay, that's good. Install IPy kernel and exits. Function code. Alright, that's fine. Just a job to install IPy kernel using that pip, right? and the job to show if you have IPyKernel. If they already have that, return we're good. If they don't have that, virtual env is actually virtual env. Actually, we should always ask them if we want to install it at that location. Install IPyKernel in the VM. If yes, install. Otherwise, don't. If we don't ask, perfect. And here, when we're installing regular, okay, that looks good to me. LGTM. Create virtual. Yikes. No, I don't want to save it. I don't want to mess stuff up. Delete that buffer. No, don't save it. No, I don't. Let's see. As do install. I hope this is right, man. This is. I don't know why I went down this rabbit hole. This is a problem. Anyways, it's not the worst problem in the world to have. No virtual env found. Create one to run notebooks. I think that is it. And so, let's see. What is this doing? Neovim is just renaming. And I think that's fine by me. All right, create nope, we don't need to create one. We already have it set up here. Install kernel. This is a install kernel. Right, that's about it. I think that's the last thing I should do. I wasted way too much time on this. Set up notebook environment. Okay, looks good to me. Okay, so that looks good, but does it actually work is a problem. Let's see, we'll see. So if I go to my thing here, now what do I expect to happen? I expect that if I enter I can even use this big file detected. Nothing happens here. Why are you misbehaving? I gotta figure out this bug. Anyways, it's not important. What I really want to do is this. Actually, so I want to go back here and I want to, what did I want to do? I lost my train of thoughts. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask it, does it log what it's doing? So I can see if it's working or not. Yep, go ahead. Oh yeah, it specifies the path, perfect. Creating virtual environments created. All right, does it ask again? Does it ask before creating a... Yep, it does ask before creating a virtual... Only when there's no virtual environment found. It is virtual environment found for the... Wait, that's fine. Let's try that again. I don't see any logs because I have not opened. Some Neovim features have been disabled. Okay, let's try a thing file. What do you call it? This guy. It's the extension QMD Quarto Markdown. Test.qmd. Install Python kernel. I don't see any. I don't like this. Before I accept that, I'm gonna nuke this terminal window pane, but I don't like this input style. I want a multi-select that's clean, no typing. There you go. And nuke. How do you rotate this again? There you go. Right. So I think I did it the wrong way. This should be, okay, that's fine. It's already been on your UI backend. It looks like you, oh, sorry. I move the camera. I can't read this. It looks like you're using the defaults or a minimal one. If you install a UI plugin like dressing or use Snacks Picker, which you already have, you'll render as a clean pop-up with hierarchy selection. You have dressing installed. That's what's rendering the picker. The current look is just how dressings defaults. UI. The issue is that with only two terms, the filter input is unnecessary. You could either confirm instead. Yeah, I thought that was what. Oh yeah. I want a nice UI. Use the built-in dialogues. I don't like that. From an ISO dressing does override confirm too if you enable it. But by default, it only overrides select. And why does the select not have a drop down but show as a text input? Then I am confused and I don't want to. I have been too long on this tangent. This is not good at all. Telescope picker. Okay. Designed for longer lists. You could configure dressing to use the built-in backend. Okay, what I have. Okay. Sure. I don't like this, but I'll get. Actually, commit changes before doing that. Notes on tracked, empty, add. Alright. Hey, I did most of the work. Don't credits. It doesn't matter. Okay. No VM found. Create one to run notebook. Notebooks. Okay, let's see then. Let's try this. Oh, perfect, actually. Install IPyKernel in this virtual environment. Oh, it's looking good so far. Please tell me it installs. I don't see an installed message. So that means it did find the correct virtual environment. So if I, okay, that's just a thing. So if I source this and do a thing, package is not found. It did not install it, it doesn't look like. Wait, let's see. Install, filter install. No. Alright, let's log the error message. Let's see. std error. We assign the data. On exits, we pass in, we split, we concatenate it with new lines, right? And pass it in. Let's see if that works. Sure. Now it captures that in the error notification. Install. No such directory. Interesting. VM bin pip. Is there a VM bin? There is no pip. I'm not sure what the structure usually is. I hope I didn't copy anything weird. Nope, didn't copy over properly. I wish Cloud Code supported like proper. I know they kind of have like terminal thing, but like it's very, when you start to have multi-line prompts, it gets really annoying. Okay. Nope. Didn't work. Why can't I just, okay, let's do this instead. No pip. It's created without pip. Fix create env to include it. How actually should include pip by default? It might be installed via a system. Let's see. The Python might be installed via a system that strips it out. Models Python 3-m or check if without the camera's blocking my screen. Pip is solving, but either way you can ensure pip is there. The kind of is, yeah, makes sense. Python 3 pip install ipykernel. Yep. What if they are using some other Python version in their VM? Will it work? But Python is always symlinked in a VM's bin. Is it? How do you do the thing? Bin Python. Yep, it is symlinked. Okay. So we do that. What model am I using? Opus-ish defaults. Okay. So let's try that again. Failed to install it again. What's the message? No module named pip. So it really isn't finding it. That's strange. Yo, what is this? What the? What the heck is all this? I kernel. Oh, I don't like this. Kernel. It wasn't that. What was it that we added the logs around to do install kernel? I said we already did that. Oh. Okay, install kernel in installing in this location. Pip install. So what was the key thing is doing here? This looks like the exact same thing we did before, no? It logs the error and it's bootstrapping on exit of what? Okay, so it grabs the version. Otherwise, it's why failed to bootstrap pip. How is this new lines added? I thought we already added those here. Anyways. Oh, it's just rewriting. It deletes it here. Okay. Root problem of it should be there, no? And the Python 13 build may have compiled without the. I don't believe that. That's why. macOS with me is using official C pattern and should be dead or nothing. UVVM intentionally does not include pip by default. It's designed to use UV pip instead. So in VMs, okay. I'm not really doing this for anyone else. Let me think. I might be sharing this code. I might share the code when I make the video. You could check for UV. Okay, yeah, perfect. That's a perfect solution. I was thinking it would be more verbose to check for UV. Like how that, like we'll have to do it with some bash command, which would be a whole thing again. Okay, pip cmd if not UV. Oh, I'm sorry. If UV is present, then we use it to install UV pip install using this. pip install. Pip command. Okay, we use this Python for the pip install, right? And then we use the pip command, ipykernel. But if okay, because otherwise it would be defined if it was created using Python's thing. Okay, makes sense. Also need to fix has ipykernel's UVM when available. Okay, that makes sense. Now both has ipykernel and do install work. I hope so. Install. Oh, looks successful. So one last thing we need to do, if you remember, we had to create the register the kernel. So that's what we want to do. Okay. Register kernel. Why is that such a massive thing? Okay, we're doing a async. Register, failed to register. User, the name is the kernel name, which we grab from the VM path. What is the HT? Oh, yeah, thank you for explaining. To get the parent folder of VM, explain the HT. Strips the last components. Head strips the last components. Oh, that makes sense, of course. So if it's installed properly, what about if it already existed there? Do we if it already existed, do we do a thing to it? Do we do a thing? Let's see. If it already existed, where are we running it? Install. So if they already have the kernel, we want to make sure it's registered. The kernel is registered. I'll be back. we're back, and we wanna. Where did we add the steps to? Let's do this. Where did we add the steps to register the kernel? We did that on install only. So if they already have the kernel, we also wanna if they have the kernel, we also wanna register is not about when we already have we want to check so don't make the change. I want to see when they don't have the kernel, we want to register it if they don't have it registered already. How do you get whether, what was the command again? Command was this. Let's see. Oh, the command was this. From PyKernel, how can you check if a kernel is already registered? If a kernel is already registered, not already exists. Yeah, I'm sure if it adds the change, it's gonna like repeat what it's doing here for each of these cases, or repeat what it's doing here for these cases, registering the kernel. Oh, this is getting way too complex, man. This is getting way too complex. I don't like this. Ensure kernel registered. Jupyter. You're using Jupyter. No. I don't want this. Okay, if kernel is not registered. I mean, who's using Windows for? I don't want to support Windows if it's wild, but if it's not, then might as well. I don't like that at all. Anyways, here's the kernel. Got the kernel name. Check if it's registered. Ensure kernel registered. If it's registered, registering kernel as and then we do this, and then do the same thing we were doing before and clean up. Ensure kernel registered. Let's see. We do it in the other scenarios as well. When we install, we need to register the kernel as well. Oh, it's done in the install. Okay, that's enough of this tangent. We've produced how many lines of code? 135, which is way more than I wanted to do for this. Like just a little, I thought it was gonna be one and done. Anyways, let's see if that works. Okay. Registering kernel. Oh, that's good. Ooh, it worked. It worked. Perfect. Okay. So we registered the kernel. Okay. Now I can go back into video mode. And all right, let's see. Where was the how many hours Okay, how long? I don't even know how long I went on that tangent for. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, video mode. Alright, so after a massively long tangent, I created a utility function which is probably larger than it should be, about like 135 lines of code. Basically what this does is, if you remember, we need to have, for our project, we need to install the kernel, basically install the kernel thing and register it, register a kernel with the name of our project, so that whenever we're using this kernel, whenever we're accessing the notebook, for example, this notebook here, it actually creates a kernel that uses the virtual env of our notebook. Actually, I realized that there's something I'm missing here. We need to source the env when we're do we source the env when we're installing and doing all that stuff, and go back to the okay. Let's see, when we're installing the virtual env, so when we're installing and by kernel and registering it, we need to do so within the basically we need to activate the VM. So what I was just thinking of back then, is that, do we always want to activate it and leave it activated, or do we just want to return the user to whatever was activated or nothing if it wasn't activated? Let's see. I know the code is gonna be massive again. I just know it. Let's see, because you gotta enter the run an asynchronous thing probably. We actually don't need to activate the VM for this. Our activation just sets virtual env and prevents bin to the path. Since we're already using the VMs, oh, that is interesting. I like that. So we're registering this using the VM. That is perfect. I didn't need to go on this tangent, and I don't need to burn trees for just saying perfect. Alright, burning off trees as it is. Okay. So basically what the plugin, what the code I added does is that when you enter a project, say I have this project, let me actually remove, as you can see here, this project has a virtual environment. Let me remove it and pretend we don't have a virtual environment here, and we just simply want to edit our quarto file. We enter it. We need actually to have the dependencies installed. As you can see, we need this installed. This automatically detects the files. It does this for Quarto files and Jupyter Notebook files. Though I'm never gonna be using Jupyter Notebook files for this. And yeah, so we're able to install it. It installs it. And what else does it do? It should be doing more stuff. That is not good. Failed to install. No virtual environment or system Python installation found for path. Failed to install. No virtual environment or system Python installation found for path. Run UVVF to create an environment. That's because we're trying to use UV. But we didn't activate. We're trying to use UV pip, but we didn't activate. I think that's the problem. So here, we're trying to use UV pip, but we didn't activate the. Well, we did provide a path to the VM though. Why am I getting this error? Nope, that's not the error. Stop, I don't know. I gotta figure out, like, so I'm using Flux for like a floating Tmux terminal, but every time I reopen the terminal in a new context, it like sends this cd command, which I really don't like. So when I'm in a regular like shell, what that does is just switches me to the directory, which I also don't like. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Maybe there are times it makes sense, but like it is annoying. It's not the ideal way to handle it, I don't think. A big shout out to Linkazuru, I think, is the one that created this. Massive shout out. I hope I'm not getting that wrong actually. Let's see, I learned about it from him. I think he created it. No, OmerX. Big shout out to OmerX and Linkazuru as well. But for Flux, definitely big shout out to OmerX. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go back here. Why am I getting this error? I don't like this. So it messes with my cursor when it tries to send that. Alright, come on. The error shows UV is receiving a relative path. The issue is in pip command UV pip install. Wants the VM directory, not the Python binary path. Okay, it wants the VM directory. But then how does it? Okay, I should have read the manual. RTFM, read the friendly manual. As TJ would say, which I agree with. So what is going on here? Read, well, this in this situation, read the error message. So no virtual environments or Python installation found for path. But this isn't a path, it's a file, it's a symlink file. I should have used my eyes. Okay. I hate this. Let's go back here. It's messing with my thing. Yes, I do want to. Okay. Alright. Let's do it again. Now it should be good. Is that all we need? We also had the other thing, right? Where else do we have UV? Here does, yeah, it uses a VM path as well. Python's here. Okay. So, I think I'm gonna call it a day. It's very late. Alright. I will continue on the video, but thanks to Thin Air for attending. Yep. Alright, how do you end this thing? There you go.